We are introduced to Sung Jin-woo, an E-rank hunter who is constantly injured and has abilities that are only slightly better than a regular person. Despite this, he has to risk his life to pay for his mother's hospital bills with money from the Hunters Association. He meets Kim and Park, two fellow hunters who are trying to provide for their loved ones. They are curious as to why Sung Jin-woo is popular, but he is infamous for being the weakest hunter around. Sung Jin-woo is used to being ridiculed and ignores their teasing. Ju-yi, a kind woman, greets Sung Jin-woo and scolds him for getting injured. They talk about the E-rank dungeon where he was hurt. Later, they all form a battle party to enter the dungeon, led by Song Cheol, the highest ranked hunter. Sung Jin-woo is determined to do well and prove himself as they enter the dungeon. Once inside the dungeon, Sung Jin-woo is disappointed that he couldn't get his hands on a valuable crystal, unlike the rest of the party who are using their combat skills and magic to swiftly dispatch all the monsters. Ja-yi heals Sung Jin-woo after he suffers minor injuries during the expedition. Song Cheol finds a magical crystal from a dead monster and explains that even a crystal from a lowly C-rank monster could be sold for thousands, but Sung Jin-woo could only hunt E-rank monsters and had only obtained one E-rank monster core. Sung Jin-woo is disappointed with his meager earnings. Suddenly, a member of the party discovers an unknown entrance inside the dungeon. Song Cheol speculates that it could be a double lair, a myth he had heard of. The group realizes that the boss monster must be inside that entrance, as the gate wouldn't close if the boss is not slain. The group takes a vote to explore the entrance, with 8 people voting yes and 8 people voting no, including Ju-yi. Sung Jin-woo is the last person to vote, and he votes yes because he is determined to make money for his family. This tips the vote in favor of exploring the second lair, and the group proceeds further into the dungeon. Sung Jin-woo and his team venture through a secret entrance to face the unknown. Ju-yi is angry at Sung Jin-woo for putting himself in harm's way, but she quickly changes her tune and starts to flirt with him. Sung Jin-woo feels guilty, and Ju-yi thinks he can apologize by taking her out to dinner. As they approach a large and luxurious gate, they all sense that danger awaits them behind the doors. Despite the ominous feeling, they are motivated by Song Cheol and push forward to enter the boss room. Inside the room, they find a large circle-shaped chamber, lit by blue fire. The room is filled with massive statues, covered in moss and holding weapons. A much larger statue is seated on a throne in the middle, wearing a crown and appearing to be a king. In the center of the room, they spot a magic seal, surrounded by ambiguous symbols. One of the party members notices a statue of an angel, holding a piece of runic text that turns out to be the 10 commandments of a man named Charthanon. The party member reads out the commandments. The first commandment is to worship the Lord. The second commandment is to praise the Lord. The third commandment is to prove your faith. Just then, Ju-yi points out that the king statue's eyeball is moving and staring right at them. The air in the room suddenly feels chilly, and Sung Jin-woo is filled with dread when he hears the warning that those who don't follow the commandments won't leave alive. As if on cue, the door suddenly shuts and locks tightly, trapping them inside. One of the party members tries to leave, but as he approaches the door, one of the statues with a trident slices his head off in the blink of an eye, leaving the rest of the team terrified. Sung Jin-woo, using his survival instincts, anticipates a beam of energy that will hit the group, and warns them to duck. Some members do not react in time, and die. The survivors are grateful to Jin-woo for his warning. Song Cheol, who is gravely injured and missing an arm, warns that they face a monster that is far greater than any B or A rank monster he has seen, and that it could potentially be an S rank monster. The group realizes they must follow the commandments and bow down to the king statue to survive. The king statue gives a terrifying smile, and a former priest praising the statue is brutally stomped, causing panic amongst the party. Sung Jin-woo directs the party to run to statues holding musical instruments to avoid being attacked. Mr. Park is killed and everyone is devastated. Kim confirms the safety of the musical statues by standing under one with a violin, which doesn't attack him. Sung Jin-woo and Ju-yi take cover under a drum statue, but it doesn't play as multiple people are under it. Jin-woo sacrifices himself to save Ju-yi by running to another statue, but the king statue is closing in on him. He avoids the king statue, but is attacked by the shield statue and crawls towards a singing statue for protection. Ju-yi discovers that both of Sung Jin-woo's legs have been dismembered and rushes to his aid. The ground shakes violently, leaving the remaining party members in shock. An altar falls on the ground where the magic emblem once stood. Sung Jin-woo realizes that altars are a way to prove faith, as the third commandment requires offering a sacrifice. Mr. Kim understands Jin-woo and blames Song Cheol for bringing the party to the dungeon, holding a sword to his neck. Cheol agrees to take responsibility for their suffering and offers to walk to the altar himself. Jin-woo is angry as he knows blaming Cheol is not right, and that they had all voted to go there. Jin-woo steps onto the altar, and a ball of flame ignites. He asks for help to examine the altar and suggests waiting for backup from the Hunters Association, but this idea is quickly dismissed since it has been almost a week since the gate has been opened, allowing the monsters to cross onto Earth. They need to escape alive and possibly defeat the dungeon. Jinwoo tells the party to step onto the altar, and when they do, blue flames encircle them, and the locked gate opens. All the statues become active, filled with blue magical energy. A party member runs off the altar, and her flame extinguishes, allowing her to escape the dungeon. The remaining party members are surprised by her escape. Sung Jinwoo realizes that the blue flames represent the number of people needed to complete the third commandment, and the red flames extinguish each time a person leaves. He recalls that the third commandment requires them to reject the sweet temptation of leaving the dungeon. Another party member abandons Sung Jinwoo and safely escapes, but he urges the rest of the party to stay. Song Cheol asks for an explanation, and Sung Jinwoo advises them to wait until all the blue flames go out. Mr. Kim thanks Sung Jinwoo for his help but breaks down in tears at the thought of him dying and never seeing his family again, and he runs out of the doors, creating a blind spot in their circle. Sung Jinwoo is faced with a difficult decision to sacrifice one of his party members to escape the dungeon alive. Ju-yi, one of the party members, is left paralyzed from her overuse of mana. Sung Jinwoo suggests that Song Cheol carry her out of the dungeon to safety. Ju-yi is initially upset, but Sung Jinwoo promises to take her out for a meal after their escape. Song Cheol quickly puts Ju-yi to sleep and thanks Sung Jinwoo before leaving the dungeon. Sung Jinwoo is left alone and picks up a sword, prepared to fight to the death. However, he is suddenly attacked by all the statues in the room. In desperation, Sung Jinwoo begs for a second chance at life, and a notification appears before him, telling him that he has completed all the requirements of the quest Courage of the Weak. A mysterious voice asks him to become a player, and Sung Jinwoo accepts, leading to a bright light filling the room. Thank you for watching this video everyone. This is a brand new channel, so if you have any criticism of my style of editing or explanations, please tell me. This video is short because I aim to test if there will be people who like these styles of videos. Please recommend any manhwas to go over. I will upload the second party shortly, and Sung Jin Woo's adventure to becoming overpowered is not one to miss. Stay tuned.